You know, so if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Got to keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
yeah.
Rock with me, but just check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Yeah.
Heat. You mean that physically the place has to be hot?
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, like, you know, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. My daughters, not that I know of, I've scrubbed all their socials. They do not have boyfriends, but they did ask me this weekend, could 2 boys come over? The twins. And I told them no.
How do you carry on this legacy?
I wanted to make sure, like, that this dream meant something at the end of the day, because, you know, this young man, you know, lost his life throughout this journey. That's great. And as I'm building up my leverage and I'm, you know, building my team, what advice would you give me on how to find the best in class?
The first thing you need to do for each job is to have a spec sheets, you know, the specifications for that job.
So the level of greatness that you have to be to really be able to make a change and affect everything is you have to be greater than what they consider what's out there as great. So that means you have to work harder. And that's the reality. And that's the world that we're growing up in. And the only way we can change it is by embracing that.
Have you ever wondered what happens when an empire built on music, influence, and pure bravado begins to unravel from the inside out? Picture a man whose very name once meant power and opulence. Diddy. For decades, he stood as a symbol of untouchable success, a mogul who dictated the rules of the game and lived a life that many only dreamed of. But what happens when that pedestal cracks and the darkness beneath begins to seep through? Today, we peel back the layers of an unfolding drama that has rocked the entertainment world. As we journey into the heart of this saga, you'll hear about dramatic federal raids, personal breakdowns behind prison walls, and explosive legal battles that promise to change everything we thought we knew about celebrity power. In the next 25 minutes, we'll take you through every twist and turn, from the shocking arrest to the cascading lawsuits, and ask the burning question: can the man who once controlled an empire ever truly escape the consequences of his own making? Section 1, the shocking turn of events. In a scene that could have been lifted straight from a high-budget thriller, federal agents descended upon a landmark Midtown Manhattan hotel. The familiar, confident stride of Diddy as he entered the luxurious Park Hyatt was abruptly interrupted by the swift, decisive intervention of law enforcement. In that instant, the image of a man in full control shattered, replaced by one of vulnerability and stark reality. Witnesses recalled the surreal moment. There were no flashbulbs of glamour or orchestrated fanfare, only the heavy presence of authority and the unmistakable sense that something monumental was about to change. As the agents moved in with precision, it became immediately clear that this was not a routine operation. The raid wasn't merely about seizing assets or making an arrest. It signaled the start of an investigation that would soon reveal layers of secrets and betrayals hidden beneath Diddy's polished public image. Rumors began to swirl almost immediately. Was this the first crack in a vast empire built on decades of wealth, power, and carefully curated celebrity? In the moments following the operation, the world of entertainment stood still, grappling with the realization that even the most seemingly invincible figures are not immune to the forces of justice. This initial encounter, as chilling as it was, only hinted at the far deeper crises that lay ahead. A preview of the storm that would soon engulf every aspect of Diddy's life. And as the dust settled on that fateful day, one question burned in the minds of onlookers: how does a man, once synonymous with luxury and control, begin to lose his grip on everything he built? Section 2, Behind Bars, the mental struggle. The stark reality of that arrest soon gave way to a more intimate, harrowing battle: the mental and emotional struggle of life behind bars. No longer was Diddy the untouchable titan of the music industry. Now he was a man grappling with the crushing isolation and relentless pressure of incarceration. Behind the imposing walls of a detention center, the difference between his former world of opulence and the cold, institutional reality could not have been more pronounced. Insiders close to him began to describe a series of events that painted a troubling picture of psychological torment. In whispered conversations and confidential reports, it was revealed that Diddy was in the midst of a severe mental health crisis, a crisis so intense that it pushed him to the very edge. Some claim that, overwhelmed by despair, he once pleaded with the guards for hospital care, desperate for a reprieve from the overwhelming isolation. In these bleak hours, the noise of his former life faded, leaving only the echo of regret and the unyielding pressure of his new reality. Yet amid this struggle, there emerged a glimmer of resilience. Sources say that through long hours of meditation and deep focused breathing, Diddy managed to pull himself back from the abyss. It was a stark contrast to the life he once led, where every moment was filled with glitter, glam, and the relentless pursuit of success. Now, in a place where the only luxury was a moment of inner calm, he fought a battle against the demons of his own mind. This wasn't just about surviving prison, it was about confronting a personal crisis that threatened to unravel the very fabric of his identity. As the days stretched on and the pressure mounted, each minute behind bars served as a harsh reminder that the world outside was far more forgiving than the internal torment he was enduring. Section 3. Explosive allegations and lawsuits. While Diddy wrestled with his inner demons behind the bars, an entirely separate but equally explosive drama was unfolding outside. A storm of allegations began to emerge, claims that were as varied as they were disturbing, each one chipping away at the carefully cultivated image of a man who had long commanded both respect and fear. Documents and testimonies started to surface, painting a picture of abuse, manipulation, and exploitation that was hard to reconcile with the larger-than-life persona many had admired for so long. Multiple lawsuits emerged, each alleging that Diddy had used his immense influence as a tool of control. Some filings accused him of framing individuals for crimes they didn't commit, while others claimed that his power was wielded with a cruelty that left his associates and even inmates in a state of terror. One particularly damning suit described how those under his influence were not just silenced, but systematically broken down, forced into submission by a combination of threats and psychological manipulation. As the legal papers piled up, the language within them grew increasingly incendiary. Words like exploitation, intimidation, and calculated cruelty became all too common, echoing the sentiments of those who felt betrayed by a man who had once seemed invincible. The lawsuits weren't just legal documents. They were a litany of accusations that forced the public to confront a reality where celebrity and power came with a hidden, often dark cost. The more these allegations were aired, the more it became apparent that behind every act of glamour and every headline-grabbing moment, there was a story of control and fear, a story that was now poised to be told in stark, unflinching detail. Section 4. The controversial tapes and high-profile witnesses. Just as the flood of lawsuits threatened to overwhelm Diddy's legacy, whispers of another explosive element began to capture the public's imagination: the existence of controversial recordings. Imagine for a moment a set of tapes so damning that they could rewrite the entire narrative of a career built on mystery and power. According to sources, these recordings could potentially reveal conversations and incidents that would link Diddy to a host of illicit activities, ranging from exploitation to abuse. The mere suggestion of such evidence sent shockwaves through the industry. Rumors swirled that these tapes contained not only the voices of those directly affected by his actions, but also the unmistakable presence of other high-profile figures. Names like Jennifer Lopez and Jay-Z's began to surface in hushed tones, mentioned as potential witnesses whose silence, or perhaps deliberate omission, added another layer of intrigue to the case. These weren't just any witnesses. They were major players in the entertainment world, and their alleged involvement hinted at a network of secrecy and complicity that extended far beyond a single individual. As the details of these recordings emerged, so did questions about how much of the truth was being kept under wraps. Some speculated that the tapes were intentionally hidden to protect reputations and maintain power structures, while others believed that they were the key to unraveling a deeply entrenched system of abuse. Every mention of these recordings, every suggestion of their existence, only served to heighten the tension. It was as if the tapes held within them the potential to expose a web of connections that could bring down not just one man, but an entire era defined by unchecked celebrity and influence. Section 5. Courtroom Drama and Legal Battles. As if the storm of allegations and rumors weren't enough, the drama soon spilled into the courtroom, a stage where the stakes couldn't be any higher. In sterile, fluorescent-lit courtrooms, Diddy's legal team faced off against a barrage of accusations, mounting legal filings, and an overwhelming body of evidence that threatened to undo decades of carefully maintained power. The courtroom became a battlefield where every word, every piece of evidence was scrutinized with a ferocity that left no room for error. Central to the legal strategy was a staggering $50 million bail request, a desperate, audacious bid to secure his temporary freedom. The request, though grand in scale, was met with a resounding refusal from the presiding judge, a decision that resonated as a symbolic rejection of the legacy Diddy had so long taken for granted. The denial wasn't just a legal setback, it was a powerful message that even the most powerful could be held accountable when the evidence piled up. Within those legal battles, testimonies were delivered that peeled back the layers of myth and glamour. Witness after witness recounted tales of intimidation, manipulation, and outright abuse. The language used in court was charged and incendiary, with legal arguments that sought to expose every facet of a story that had long been shrouded in secrecy. Each document submitted and every argument presented added another piece to the puzzle. A puzzle that, when completed, promised to reveal a truth far more disturbing than anyone had anticipated. Yet, for all the legal maneuvering and courtroom theatrics, the underlying narrative was clear. This was a fight not just for freedom, but for the very soul of a man whose once mighty empire was now crumbling under the weight of his own controversies. Section 6. The Domino Effect, a Crumbling Empire. Outside the courthouse, the ripple effects of these revelations began to manifest on an even grander scale. The empire that Diddy had built, a vast network of record labels, fashion lines, and entertainment ventures, started to show irreparable cracks. Colleagues, former employees, and even rival moguls began to question not only his methods, but the entire culture of power that had allowed him to reign for so long. Every new lawsuit, every damning allegation added weight to the domino effect that was slowly toppling a legacy once thought invincible. Industry insiders whispered that Diddy's empire was built on a delicate balance of fear and loyalty, a balance that, once disturbed, could collapse in a matter of moments. The once glittering world of red carpets and luxury parties was now marred by accusations of control and corruption. As former allies spoke out, the narrative shifted. No longer was Diddy merely a celebrity mogul. He was becoming a cautionary tale, a stark reminder that unchecked power always comes with a hidden price. This domino effect wasn't confined to the business realm alone. The shockwaves spread to every corner of the entertainment world, forcing even the most respected figures to reassess their own positions and alliances. With every new piece of evidence and every courtroom revelation, the foundation of an empire built on influence and fear began to crumble, slowly, inexorably, until nothing remained but the echoes of a bygone era. And as the collapse became inevitable, the public was left to wonder, what does it mean when the very institutions that once protected and empowered a celebrity now turn against him? Section 7. The Uncertain Future. In the midst of the legal battles and public outrage, the future for Diddy hangs in a precarious balance. The man who once dictated the rhythm of an industry now finds himself facing a future laden with uncertainty and peril. Rumors abound that the psychological toll of these mounting crises is beginning to break him in ways that no one could have foreseen. In whispered interviews and late-night discussions, former insiders have expressed their doubts. Can someone so used to a life of luxury and control truly adapt to the harsh reality of accountability? Speculation is rife. Some believe that the pressure may ultimately force him into a decision as drastic as it is heartbreaking, perhaps even a choice to end the legacy before it is completely tarnished. Others argue that this trial by fire could force a long overdue reckoning, not only for Diddy, but for an entire generation that revered him without question. The stakes are immense. Every new legal filing, every unexpected twist in the investigation only deepens the uncertainty surrounding his fate. As we look ahead, the possibilities range from a lengthy prison sentence and personal collapse to an explosive final act that could redefine what it means to wield celebrity power in a modern world. The future remains a mystery, a dark horizon shrouded in both legal peril and personal torment. And in that murk, one truth is undeniable. The legacy of a man who once ruled the airwaves is now being rewritten by forces far greater than fame or fortune. Conclusion, a final reckoning. As we bring this sprawling saga to a close, one thing stands out above all. The rise and fall of a legend is never a simple story. Diddy, once the embodiment of untouchable success, now finds himself at a crossroads. A man besieged by allegations, legal battles, and an ever-mounting sense of isolation. What began as a stunning moment of federal intervention has unfolded into a multi-layered narrative of power, betrayal, and the inevitable reckoning of a bygone era. In the echo of every courtroom battle, every whispered allegation, and every moment of despair behind prison walls, we are forced to confront a fundamental question about our modern culture. Can the pedestal of celebrity ever truly shield someone from the consequences of their actions? Or is it only a matter of time before the hidden truths, buried under layers of glamour and influence, emerge to reclaim their due? For those who followed every twist and turn of this unfolding drama, the message is clear. No empire, no matter how grand, is invincible. The story of Diddy is not just a tale of one man's downfall. It is a mirror held up to an industry and a society that once placed wealth and power above all else. And as the final chapters of this saga continue to be written, the echoes of these revelations will undoubtedly spark debates, reflections, and perhaps even changes in how we view the intersection of fame, influence, and accountability. So, as we stand on the threshold of what might be the final act in this tumultuous drama, we invite you to join the conversation. What do you think lies ahead for a man who once reigned supreme? Can redemption still be found in the ruins of a fallen empire, or is this the irreversible end of an era? Share your thoughts and let us know how you believe this story will ultimately reshape the narrative of power in the modern age.